Good morning, dear students. We continue our lectures in Modern English Lexicology. From the very beginning, I want to warn you that my presentation is very short, and I will touch upon the most important basic notions which refer to the topic of the lecture, but in more detail you can find these materials in the textbooks which you have attached to this Moodle course, okay? And if you have any questions, and if you show any interest in more profound investigation of the topic, you can always contact me. Okay, today's lecture is devoted to the minor types of English word formation. And from the previous lecture, you might remember that minor types are those types which are not so active in formation of neologisms, like the major or productive types, to which belong affixation, compounding, conversion, and two types of shortening, clipping and abbreviation. Those patterns we discussed in our previous lecture. Today we'll talk about non-productive types, and first of all I want to tell you what the notions are. The topics which we will discuss today are given here in slide 2. We'll talk about what is word formation and which types can be named the productive and non-productive. Then we talk about the importance of synchronic and diachronic approach to the word formation problems, and what is a neologism. It's useful to just remind the terms. And we'll talk about those minor types of word formation, which are blending, back formation, reduplication, sound and stress interchange, lexicalization of plural forms of nouns and not only nouns, actually, and substantivization, adjectivization, and different types of mixed forms. Not all of these forms or these patterns you can meet in your native languages, of course. Some of them are really unique for the English language. And let's see what comes out of our discussion. So, neologisms. I gave you the definition from the dictionary, from the Woodhouse Dictionary. Neologisms are words that have appeared in the language considerably recently in connection with new phenomena, new concepts and technologies, and have not yet been universally accepted, and have not yet entered into the vocabulary of the majority of native speakers. Quite a long definition, but it tries to cover different aspects of neologisms, and there is even a special branch in lexicology which is called neology. That is this branch which studies neologisms, how they're made, and how we should accept them, or some of them are acceptable, some are not, some die the same day when they are made. Anyway, so Oxford Dictionary gives a shorter expression, a shorter definition. Newly coined words or expressions can also be named occasionalisms, ad hoc words, coinages, or nonce words. So these four more definitions show by their meaning that some neologisms don't live long. They're made just for some specific occasions. Occasion is ad hoc in the Latin language. That's why ad hoc words mean words made for this particular occasion. And the nonce words are words which we make in different situations, just produce these words without even thinking that they might stay in the vocabulary. Okay, so neologisms are derived, they are made, they are coined, they are created. You can use a number of verbs to describe the process. And sometimes neologisms are not neologisms. Neologisms can be even a new meaning in a word can be already called a neologism. So, and derivation, again, this is another definition. In slide 4, you can see the word derivation is used in many branches of sciences, but in linguistics, derivation means the formation of a word from another word or from a root in the same or sometimes another language, because roots are taken from other languages as well, they are borrowed. Okay, so how neologisms are created? Of course, there are 3 main ways. So first, we can create a completely new word from the elements in the language. Second, it can be a completely new meaning of an old word, and we'll talk about it later as well. And the existing word can also be used in a specific situation or context when an unexpected meaning might be born, you know, in the word. So some kind of new theme might appear in the word. But all these types are semantic. The above mentioned ways of creating neologisms are semantic derivation, belong to semantic derivation. Okay, but when it comes to morphological derivation, then here we have words created by about 14 ways, 14 patterns. Okay, so as we have already mentioned, here we just review the productive types of word formation, which are affixation, by adding prefixes and suffixes to the morphemes, to the root morphemes, of course. Compounding, joining 2 or more independent words. Conversion, that is functionally changing of the grammatical paradigm of old words. Clipping, which is shortening, and such words as zoo, flu, prof, exam, they are very popular in conversational English, of course. And abbreviations, which is abbreviation is a very, very handy type of word formation, because, you know, long expressions which denote organizations, professions, illnesses, I mean, whatever, documents, terms, they can be easily and cleverly abbreviated so that they make short words and comprehensible and usually generally recognized. Okay, now minor types, as I already mentioned once, are given here in slide 7. You can look at them, and there are examples opposite each term. Blending, backformation, reduplication, sound interchange, stress interchange, lexicalization of the plural forms of nouns, substantivization, adjectivization, affixation plus sound interchange, and different mixed types. Now let's go to blending. So what is blending? Blending can be called blends, can be called portmanteau words. There are different terms to describe blending. But in fact, it is the process of creating new words by combining irregular parts of 2 different words. Irregular means we can never predict which components of the words will be joined together so that the word was acceptable by native speakers, the word sounded English, you know. And here there are 2 more or less general ways of these portmanteau words. Portmanteau is a word from French. It looks like a portmanteau, like a purse with very many, you know, parts of the purse, and different parts are joined together. So head and tail, head of one word and tail of another word can be added. And here we have motel as an example. It's a classical example. Camcorder, which is camera plus recorder. Okay, and head plus head. These examples can be numerous, of course. I gave you only 2. But here also we have pixel, we have high-tech, we have telex, which you see later. Okay, now here are some words for you, some pairs of words. I want you, if we had an offline lecture, I would have liked you to do your own blends, but here I only give you an examples, since this is an online lecture, you know. it cannot be interactive. Here are the words which I made from those examples which I gave you in the previous slide. And here, pixel is made from picture and element. Textpectation is made from text and expectation. Slanguage is slang and language. Telex is from teleprinter plus exchange. So when you look at these words, you can sense how the imagination of the creator of these words worked, you know. So breathalyzer is an instrument for checking alcohol in the breath of drivers, you know. And it is made from breath and analyzer. Beautiful word, breathalyzer. Interpol, everybody knows, and Interpol is made of two words, international and police. Okay, so, and you can yourself find very beautiful blendings if you go to internet site and just to Google and just print blendings in modern English. You'll have about 200 of them, if not more. Okay, the next non-productive type I want you to get acquainted with is backformation. Backformation is also called reversion. That is, when we form, it is a reversion to affixation, of course. In affixation, we take root and we take derivational affixes and join them either at the beginning, before the root, or after the root. In this case, in backformation, we take a word, we look at it, and see that something in its construction, in its structure, reminds us of a derived word. And why not to take away that part which reminds of or somehow tells us that this word might be shortened and create a word. The tradition comes from the word beggar, you know. The word beggar was borrowed into the English language somewhere in the 12th centuries. And it was pronounced beggar, of course, in French way. But then this D ending was somehow deleted, and it turned into a word with AR at the end. And it looked very much to the native English speakers like words teacher or player or reader, and this AR sort of stood in the place of ER suffix, noun-making suffix. So finally, this part was also deleted, was cut off, and the verb to beg appeared. So actually, the verb to beg was made from the noun beggar, and that is why it is reversion. A shorter word was made from a longer word. And here you see the examples are the previous or maybe the oldest examples of backformation, where to beg, to edit, to battle, to butcher, to butch. So from butcher, and now you have much more modern reversed words formed by backformation, and they are to televise, to enthuse. From chauffeur, we have the verb to serve, which is already the name of a profession, by the way. From babysitter, we have the verb to babysit, again as a professional activity. What do you do for a living? I babysit 3 times a week. Very, very English word, okay. Instead of saying, I work as a babysitter for 3 days a week, you say, I babysit for 3 days a week. And it shows that you do this babysitting for making money. Okay, let's go to reduplication. Reduplication, of course, is a universal word formation pattern. You can find it in Russian, you can find it in Uzbek, okay. So this is just forming a new word from joining or doubling an entire word or part of the word. Okay, so you have these reduplications in English like bye-bye, goody-goody, buddy-buddy, and partial reduplication, walkie-talkie, drip-drop, etc. So in Uzbek we also have a lot of words like this, something like qip-qizil, bora-bora, so such words, they are reduplicative origin, and they're quite popular in many, many languages. Okay, we go to lexicalization of plural forms. It's an interesting thing. you know. So you know the word arm, it's an upper limb of the human body. This is our arm, we have two arms. And arms in plural means weapons. And not just one weapon, but weapons collectively. Okay, and this is quite easy to explain, because the first weapon we possess as people are our hands, and when we are attacked, we defend ourselves with the help of our arms, right? In the first place. So this is how metonymically the word arm in plural form acquired the meaning of weapons. Same comes with custom. You know, we have customs as a specific organization which checks goods at the borders. Again, why customs? Why not some other word? Because from the very beginning of the appearance of such an organization, it checked the goods which were not customary in the inside country. Right? So they were either prohibited or they could be dangerous for the country. That's why everything which was not customary, traditional, used in a country, they were pushed out of the country by customs. Same comes with color as national flag. All countries have their specific coloring of the national flag. And if you say the colors of Uzbekistan were shown on top of the British Parliament, for example, it is clear what was there. What colors? Colors means the flag, the national flag of the country. Okay, so sound interchange, a very, very old, traditional, ancient type of word formation, and it is relevant not only for lexicology, not only for word formation, but also for grammar. So, full is an adjective, to fill is a verb. Not is a noun, to knit is a verb. Okay, speak is a verb, speech is noun. If you take speak as a verb, again, all its forms, its past indefinite and past perfect, also are made by means of sound interchange. Speak, spoke, spoken, even suffix, even mixed form, sound interchange plus affixation. Okay. So, sound interchange is a very, very Germanic type of word formation. In most languages of Germanic origin, they have a sound interchange. Change of stress is also a typically English way of making words. We just shift the stress from one part to another. Well, you all know and remember very well the oldest or the most frequently used maybe couple of words, a present as a noun and to present as a verb. To refuse is a verb. A refuse is something, is already a thing, an object which you refuse, which you throw away. A precedent is a noun, something that was or happened before, and precedent is an adjective that is already quality or state. A protest is a noun. To protest is a verb. Please make sure that you remember this. A perfect language, perfect is an adjective, but to perfect is a verb, which means to make something perfect. Okay, and frequent is an adjective, frequent rain, for example, but to frequent is already a verb, meaning doing something quite often. For example, my mother-in-law started frequenting to our house, means started coming too early, or sorry, too fast, right? Too quickly. Okay, well, these two types of word formation, substantivation and adjectivization, they're also universal, broadly speaking. And substantivization means making nouns of adjectives or from adjectives. Intellectual is an adjective, but an intellectual is already a noun. Same goes with unemployed. And adjectivization is vice versa, means making adjectives from nouns. As soon as we put a noun before another noun, this noun turns into an adjective, into an attribute, right? Okay. Mixed types of word formation of course, we can, in English, we can combine all these types of word formation, compounding with conversion, clipping with compounding, suffixation with sound gradation. I want to draw your attention to this particular pair of words because many students pronounce the second word wrongly. South is noun, southern is adjective. Please don't forget it. Okay, I have finished with my presentation of the minor types of word formation. A more deeper analysis we will do during our seminar assignments. Thank you for your attention. Bye.